she did.
I think she wrote a lot of them, and then he played a lot of the instrumentation.
So
they wrote them together. We're on YouTube, by the way. Hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. So sorry. Okay.
No. Yeah, you get to keep talking. Let's just start the episode now, and then we'll start it halfway through on Spotify.
We'll actually play the.
Yeah.
That way, the only the people that are streaming get like the first 3 records.
Tune into our YouTube for the rest.
Tune into YouTube for the rest.
Alrighty.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
It sucks. Welcome back. It's This List Sucks.
I'm Mike.
I was just echoing the song there.
Yeah.
I'm JB.
I'm Riley.
We have special guest Riley Rath returning. Our third returning fourth returning guest,
or as we like to call them, champions. So you're now a 2-time champion.
You're a 2-time champion of This List Sucks. How does it feel?
Pretty good.
I bet it does. It looks good on you. I have to say.
I'll bet it does. No, actually, so when the music was playing before the music started, it was, where's Katie? Where's Katie? And so then as soon as the theme song started, Katie came in. And literally I wanted to open the show by saying, hey, JB, Katie's back.
Well, thank you for letting me know. She is back.
Yes, absolutely.
We can all rest easy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, welcome back to the show. It's Friday night again. Actually, it's the first one we've done on Friday night in a couple of weeks.
Right?
Mostly my fault, I think. I had a gig last Friday or something going on. But
dude, giggery is never something to be ashamed of, and it always comes before. So, we make adjustments. It's fine. What? Just because some people work on Saturday mornings and they absolutely depend on our voices? It's fine.
They really do. Or at least they enjoy them, and it eases their mornings, which... Never knew my voice would ease anybody's morning, so that's nice, I guess. Usually it's the opposite.
Yeah, but it's good to be back. It's good to all be in person. And Riley, it's wonderful to have you back again.
Yeah, thanks for coming back on, Riley. We appreciate it.
Good to be back.
Yeah. So without further ado, tomorrow is Record Store Day drop number 2.
It is.
And so if you're into records, go out and support your local record shop if they're participating in Record Store Day. JB, what are you going to get?
Honestly, I have nothing on my radar. There was a lot that I had for the first drop, but for this one, there's just not a whole lot that I'm even pulling up the list right now because I just want to see. There were a couple that I was like marginally interested in, like trying to remind myself. There's an Allman Brothers one that's coming out.
I think that's later Almonds too, right?
Yeah. I do think so too. There's a new Dr. John, or it's just a 50th anniversary edition of one of his records that he put out.
Yep, saw that one. That one looks trippy. Looks kind of fun.
Yeah. What are you getting?
I'm interested in Ani DeFranco. They're releasing her debut as a 30th anniversary Riri.
Gotcha.
So, I would love to pick up an Ani DeFranco. I saw Dr. John. I would also like to pick up the DGs, which is
that would be cool.
Yeah, that's the Foo Fighters covering all the Bee Gees songs on one
the
side.
DGs.
Well, they call themselves the DGs, and I think the name of the DGs record is, I think it's Nights in Satin or something like that. And they cover Bee Gees songs. But I love Foo Fighters covers. Have you ever been to a Foo Fighters concert?
No.
Okay, so when we went and saw them up in Minneapolis, they literally, probably 75% into the show, they literally went on this run where they played 3 or 4 covers in a row. And after the first 2, Dave Grohl literally looks around. He's like, well, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to like play our songs? Or do you want to keep this high school kegger rolling? And everybody started screaming. So then they played 2 more covers. And they were wonderful fucking covers. I bet
they were.
All spun up Foo Fighter style. And so I kind of want to hear what these guys do with some fucking Bee Gees.
I found the other thing that I was excited about.
Was it Miles Davis?
No, I did see that.
Yeah.
But there's a John Prine live.
Ooh.
There's a live John Prine, and it's 4 LPs.
From what year?
1975. So that's like early John. That would be good.
I think
honestly, I might
that'd
get
be
that.
super solid.
There's a 50th anniversary edition of Hot Rocks by the Stones.
Oh, I saw that one too.
There's a 7-inch by St. Vincent. That would be interesting.
I have 45s. Wow.
Yeah, you don't do a lot of those.
I mean, I have some. I actually have Old Dirty Bastard, Brooklyn Zoo, the entire record on 45s. So it's like 18 45s with each song, one side like one song per side of each 45.
Yeah. I'll probably just go down though and just see whatever people are trying to get and just steal it from them. Like whichever one is really most popular, like I need that.
Would you after you did that, would you then hang out outside the record store and offer to sell it for a slight markup?
Slight? Do you know me? Yes.
2 times face only.
Yeah. Easy. Product like that. Yeah.
It's funny because I've done this before on Record Store Day where I look at the drop information and I'm just like, there's fucking nothing in here that's even remotely exciting for me. But then the closer that it gets to Record Store Day, I'll talk to people about it and then they'll say, well, I mean, there's this one thing. And then I'll instantly go, what the fuck? And I'll jump back out there. And before you know it, there's 3 or 4 things that I'm willing to go down and try to pick up.
Yeah. So there's very possible that that's what will happen with me too. We'll see.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, New Music Friday too. Did you listen to anything?
No, sure didn't.
John Mayer dropped a new record today.
Oh, God. I listened to the 3 singles that he released before today off of that record, and I really, really loved it.
You did like them, actually?
Yeah, I did.
Which ones did you listen to? Did you listen to I Guess I Just Feel Like?
Yes.
Because that one's badass, actually.
Yes.
Like, I'm not sure that I actually care that much about the song itself. Like, it's pretty decent, but there's this whole outro section where he goes into this jam and he plays some badass guitar on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like John Mayer. I love the idea of poking fun at this genre.
Yeah. What's the genre?
Like a yacht rock type,
yacht rock,
fucking
like dad rock almost.
Almost fucking genre where it's just like unabashedly so. Does that make sense?
That's the thing is like on this new record, he's basically because one of my complaints was like in the past with John Mayer, it's like I like his guitar playing, but I don't like the lovey-dovey tunes that he does that are very like singer-songwritery, and he just like just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care at all. He's like, yeah, I'm still gonna do it. And I feel like that's not just me. That's a lot of people kind of have that complaint, and that's not really a complaint for me anymore. It was, I mean, with a couple tunes like "Your Body Is a Wonderland." I don't love that song. I don't know if you do, but songs like that, and but he just doesn't give a shit. He's just gonna keep doing whatever he wants, and that's what he should do.
I respect the shit out of that, right?
Yeah, same.
I mean, as an artist, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make this dad rock album and see how this shit goes right before I head back out with Dead and Company.
Yeah, and speaking of Dead and Company, so I listened to the whole record today. There was like a couple songs where I could tell that he's definitely kind of infusing some Jerry licks in there. Like there's a song called Wild Blue. And it's mostly like John Mayer bluesy licks, but every once in a while he'll throw like a little lick in there that you're like, that sounded like Jerry Garcia right there. Like he's definitely rubbing off on him a little bit, playing with Dead and Company.
Nice.
So it's a good one.
Anything else?
There was a couple other. There's a new like Vince Staple record, but I didn't listen to it at all.
Okay, so I actually listened to that before the show last week, but I had only made it like in 10 songs, 22 minutes. So it's ridiculously short, like really, really easy to get through. And so I probably made it through like the first 6 tracks while I was kind of just hanging out, waiting for the show to start. But I didn't talk about it last week. I think I mentioned it, but because I didn't get through the whole thing, I didn't have an opinion. And since then I've listened to it a couple of times. Dude, fucking love it. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. If you're down with hip hop and if you like Vince Staples' early stuff, like Vince Staples, what the hell was the name of his debut? Oh, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But if you enjoyed early Vince Staples, it's really, really good.
Nice.
Really good. So,
but yeah, speaking of the John Mayer, so friend of the show, Shane Parker, he was planning on getting the vinyl of that today, and he was like, "Where should I go to get that?" And I said, "I'd probably just go down to Vinyl Cup or Marv's. That's where we go probably a lot, and you're probably the most. And they tend to have a good selection of new music,
especially new. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Mars, I feel like has a lot more new stuff than Vinyl Cup. Maybe am I wrong in that?
No.
Yeah. So they kind of do focus on that. But anyways, he went down and was told that they had 100 copies that all sold out, mostly pre-order. So like, so they got which is not what we expected. I was like pretty surprised by that. 100 copies the Vinyl Cup got already all sold out day one. And they have another 100 that are coming next week. So
are those also pre-sold?
I don't think they're all sold. I think some of them are, but not all of them are sold. So
wow.
He said, come back down next week and hopefully you can snag one then. But the cool thing was apparently 5 of these pre-sold vinyls were signed by John Mayer, like hand signed. And
did they know that they were
it's like it's just random.
Wow.
Kind of crazy.
John Mayer.
Yeah.
Get it, buddy.
Exactly.
Get it. Fucking signing a handful of these records.
And so me and Shane were talking about it today. We were kind of making this joke that like a lot of times people act like especially dudes act like they don't like John Mayer that much, but really they're all just like closet John Mayer fans. And they're like, that's why they're pre-ordering it, acting like they don't.
Keeping it on the DL.
Yeah, exactly.
By hitting that pre-order.
Yeah, namely Lee Stamper probably pre-ordered that shit a long time ago.
He got his delivered to an alternate address.
Yeah,
he actually had it shipped to Walgreens.
I set up a PO box for this.
I'll only pre-order if there's no signature required, so that it can hit my PO box.
Yep,
I love it.
Exactly,
love it. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I mean, Vince,
anything to add, Ryan? Did you check out any new music, Riley?
I did not.
Yeah.
Tell me this. Okay, so I think next week or maybe the week after is when Billie Eilish comes out. Based on what you felt about the album that appeared on this list, will you listen to the new Billie Eilish?
Yes.
I'll check it out.
Seriously, man.
You want to listen to it?
I mean, I'm going to end up listening to it, but it's just one of those things where it's like, will I be able to approach it with an open mind? I don't know why. I have a fucking serious mental block against Billie Eilish.
I feel like you kind of liked that one a little bit.
I did.
Did you not? Just not being on the list, though.
There were tons of tracks on. No, I mean, go back and listen to the episode, but I'm pretty sure that I said that I agree that it belongs on the list. I probably felt that it was too high just because of recency. But no, I loved a lot of songs on that record. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I keep hearing that "Therefore I Am" song.
That's a good song.
I mean, I guess.
I'm just getting a text right now. Apparently, Biz Markie just passed away.
No,
not even kidding. Yeah.
Really?
Sorry to. I feel like we should mention that because this is kind of a music-based podcast, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But yeah, a friend of the show, Derek Danielson, just texted me. Yeah. Biz Markie just passed away at 57.
Dude.
That's insane. That's young.
Yeah. That's totally ridiculous.
Sorry to put a damper on things, guys, but I feel like that was worth mentioning.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's worth mentioning, but man, what a bummer.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
So anyways,
rest in peace, Biz.
Rest in peace, Biz Markie. Yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers. Oh, baby, you
got what I need.
And you say he's just a friend.
Okay. Were you there? Side note, I remember a really cool moment. Mike and I used to go to the same jiu-jitsu school. Were you there that one day that it was like that everybody started singing that out in the middle of class?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was a fun little memory related to Biz Markie. Mm-hmm. It was just like a particularly tough day where we were just kind of rolling, and then it started playing and someone started singing. It might have even been you, actually. And then the whole room started singing along to that, and it was a cool moment. So
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to roll while you sing. Oh, baby, you
got what I need.
Yeah.
Good track.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Right. Should we get back into it here?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Recap for those just tuning in right now, blind, deaf, and dumb.
You're like
a child
39.
wandering in the desert.
You're like 39 late.
This is episode 40. Yeah. But we are going through Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Today, we are picking it up at number 325 and covering 5 records. And this was a hefty week.
Dude.
We got one record that was basically the length of a normal week. Okay. And then we had another one that was almost as long. So yeah, a lot of listening this week, which is not a complaint. It's a good thing. Music is good. But 325 is Jerry Lee Lewis, All Killer, No Filler, the anthology from 1993 was when this was released. Jerry Lee Lewis is best known for his frenzied piano pumping Sun classics. Can barely get this out. Like Great Balls of Fire and a whole lot of shaking going on. Cut in the late 50s before he derailed his success by marrying his 13-year-old cousin.
Whoops.
Because you have to mention that in the description.
Yep.
Yet his career as a country hitmaker lasted decades. Listen to What's Made Milwaukee Famous Has Made a Loser Out of Me, and you might agree with the Killer's characteristically self-deprecating claim that Elvis was the greatest, but I'm the best. Jerry Lee Lewis, guys. Thoughts?
So does that imply that he continued to like be famous and make music after he married his 13-year-old cousin?
Oh, well after. After.
For
almost his entire country career. Actually, I think his entire country career, which is like 65% of this anthology, was after the marriage to the cousin. So first of all, Jerry Lee Lewis was married like 7 or 8 times. And none of them lasted very long. One of them lasted like 21 years. And the rest of his marriages were like short-lived. One of them ended in the woman's death. And there's like murky circumstances around that even to this day. Okay. No one really, like, he might have murdered her. Like, literally. I'm not asserting that, but there is definite speculation going on there. Are you seeing what I'm talking about, Mike?
Well, I'm trying to, I was hoping to just find a list.
There is a list.
Because I thought that he was married to his cousin for quite a long time.
It was like 10 years. And then when they split up, I know where to find it. So I'll pull it up here because I was reading about it. So Lewis has been married 7. This is straight from Wikipedia.
Holy
Lewis has
shit.
been married 7 times. He's had 6 children during his marriages. So he married a woman when he was 16 years old. Lasted for 20 months. Married again. The same year that he divorced. So the next year after he married the first one, 4 years later, she filed for divorce. And then his third marriage. So at this point, he was, let me do a little mental math here. He was 21, married his 13-year-old cousin.
Yes,
okay.
And that's correct.
Then he married her again the next year because there was some legal issues there. And so about 13 years later, she filed for divorce because of adultery and abuse, and stated that she was subject to every type, this is a quote, every type of physical and mental abuse imaginable, which is that's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. And then his fourth marriage,
This is the downer episode.
I know. Yeah. We're going to get into his music here in just a minute, but, so his fourth marriage was ended because she drowned in a swimming pool. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
And then check this out. His fifth marriage lasted 77 days, ending with her death.
What?
Journalist Richard Ben Kramer alleged that Lewis abused her and may have been responsible for her death, but the allegations have never been verified.
God damn.
And then his sixth marriage was a happy 21-year marriage. So sixth time is the charm.
84 to 05. Wow. She was willing to deal with a lot.
Yeah. Maybe he cleaned up his act. Maybe he was just a real charmer for 21 years.
He was like, man, should I murder another woman? No, fuck it. I'll let this one live.
That seems weird, though. I mean, two of his wives died.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one
Listen.
but yeah, let's get into his music here.
Let's get back to this record. What's in it? All killer, no filler. Yeah.
So there's no filler at all?
Nope. No filler.
It's all killer.
It's all killer.
Okay. Interesting. That was not my interpretation there.
Yeah, I disagree strongly with that.
I'm thinking maybe we could have had like, instead of a anthology, it could have just been like a single. And it could have been Great Balls of Fire. And that's all we really needed.
Whole lot of shaking going on.
Okay, that could have been the B-side.
That's
You know?
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Great Balls of Fire with a whole lot of shaking going on as a B-side. We call this one of the greatest albums of all time, and it's the only 45 on the list.
That's okay. I would
okay with
prefer
that
it.
too.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot on here, and a lot of it was country because he's definitely a talented musician. We're not going to skirt around that fact. Like, he's a fantastic piano player. There's some really, really good piano solos on this record.
Did he
He
play
has-
all the piano on that?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He has a solid voice. His voice sounds really good. Maybe it's not Elvis's voice for those who are big Elvis voice vocal fans, but he has a good voice. He plays a variety of. He plays two genres. He plays rock, which he basically helped invent. So there's
Yes.
something to be said for that.
Yep.
I mean, he really helped shape that genre of music. And then he veered into country western after he had a little break, mainly due to his marrying of his 13-year-old cousin.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. The unique thing to me about this anthology is it gives you kind of this chronological timeline of his musical career, because it starts off with like the rockabilly stuff, and I really enjoy like the rockabilly piano, the rockabilly songs that he was doing early in his career. Like, to me, if he would have stayed in that lane, man, he would have been he would have been a killer, you know.
Like, a whole lot of shaking going on is good shit. Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire
is a great song.
Yeah,
but he didn't write that song. Let's be clear. That's a cover.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't think he wrote any of
He
these
wrote
songs.
some, but
okay,
not
did
very
he write
many.
some?
He wrote like the second song on the record. I'm
Okay.
sure there were a couple more.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't think that there were a couple more, because I was paying attention to those writing credits, and
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a writing credit one for him. I think the comparison between him and Elvis is really cogent. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a great comparison because they were really cut from the same cloth. Elvis was, in theory, a guitar player. I don't know like how much guitar or how
In theory,
proficient
yeah.
Elvis really was at playing guitar, but Jerry Lee Lewis fucking smashes the piano.
He's very, very good piano player. No doubt about it. Yeah.
This is the only other album that I think we can use the term glissando on, right? Because we had that debate one
Alice
day.
Coltrane.
Oh yes. Okay, so harp, piano, and trombones really are the only instruments that can do like a
The
real
glissando.
you know. But there's also a part of me that kind of hates the fact that he does it to such an extreme too.
Because he does it all the time.
All the
big
time.
slide thing.
All the time.
And it's cool, but yeah, it's a lot of it. So yeah, I'm looking through real quick just because I wanted to verify that I think you're pretty much right. Like, okay, so there's one other song that says Lewis. I assume that's him. 2 songs on the entire first side, which is 21 songs long, does he have writing credits on. A little side note, there's a song on the next track that has writing credits by Shel Silverstein.
Mhm.
Did you see that?
Yep.
Okay, and that's it. So 2 on the first side. But we should also mention that some of these songs were not really covers because they were written for him. Yeah,
Correct.
so that's a little different. That's kind of how it was back in the day. A lot of times they'd have a writer and then a performer.
He's a performer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
And a super, super great performer at that. I will say this. I was pleasantly shocked at how much I loved his country stuff. Because I really did. Like, it was super good, really traditional country music. And I think that he has a great voice for country music, quite frankly.
It's perfect for it, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I had very little complaints, and there were some songs that I really, really loved. Like on the countryside, No Headstone on My Grave is a
That's a good
song
song.
that I really fucking dug.
On the countryside, so I liked the duet with his sister that he did, which was "Don't Let Me Cross Over." Of course, I liked what made Milwaukee famous has made a loser out of me. That's a good one.
Yeah. I put a couple stars next to that.
1 minute past eternity was kind of a stick out for me.
That one didn't stand out for me.
Okay, and then so I had two
It's
songs
like a
this
Latin type
entire
deal.
anthology that I put more than 3 stars on. So Great Balls of Fire, I put 4 stars on. It's just an iconic song, like you can't not. You don't like that song?
No, I'm so sorry. I was rereading my notes on some other songs.
Oh, okay. And then the other one was Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone. That was number 27. And that was like super fast paced country, like just blazing fast.
I loved that song.
Really, really good fiddle.
Yep.
Great walking bass line. Little solo section, actually, where he kind of passed it around. He did like a steel guitar solo, and then there was a piano solo.
He was also letting his voice really go on that one too.
There's some grit to his voice.
Yeah, it wasn't really clean or anything. Like he pushed his voice in different areas.
What did you think about this one, Riley?
I really enjoyed the piano for the whole thing. I liked the rock and roll piano in the beginning, and then I liked the honky tonk piano.
The honky tonk piano was good, and that's the thing about like the piano tone. Like you could tell a couple times it almost sounded like it was like an upright piano on the country stuff, and it was the tone was fantastic. So Riley's a piano player, so that makes sense that you really identified with that.
What was the instrumental one on the first side? That was just
instrumental
piano.
one on the first side. In the Mood.
Yeah, that was a good piano song.
So that was actually like a big band era standard. Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Which I'm kind of confused by because it was basically just a straight up 12-bar blues. There wasn't even like a real identifiable melody to it.
Yeah, no, sure there is. Da 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 da. Come on, In the Mood has an identifiable melody.
I'd have to hear it again. Maybe I just didn't pick it out that much on this version of it.
Yeah, I think if you heard it in other areas, you'd be able to like.
Gotcha.
There's definitely
melody.
Yeah, if you heard a big band do it, you'd be like, oh, fuck.
I'm sure because you have to. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, it was too much Jerry Lee Lewis for me to listen to personally. Like, I'm not gonna like sit down and listen to this anthology again.
No, and there's songs that I wonder why in the fuck did they put this on the anthology, especially when you're calling it all killer, no filler.
Especially when a lot of them sound very, very similar, especially the country tunes. And again, I like the country, but a lot of them are basically exactly the same.
Yes.
Yeah. That basic like honky tonk piano that you would hear in like a Western movie saloon, like every single song was like that.
Yep. 100%.
Dude, Meat Man might be the worst fucking song I've ever heard.
I think I gave that a star. I gave it a star.
Fuck you, you did.
I did. I gave it 1 star.
No, you did not.
It had horns. You like horns?
Oh, for fuck's sake, dude.
It was a song about eating meat.
No, the reason that I gave that one a star is because of the bass. There was a really, really good bass guitar line. In fact, he was playing solos. Did you not make any note about that?
No, dude.
You should probably go back and listen to the Meat Man again.
All right. I mean, actually, I really don't want to, though. Like, my notes on it are terrible.
Read it. What'd you say? You don't want to read it?
No.
We can change the subject. All right.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. I was out on it.
Not a Meat Man fan.
Nope.
Neither is Riley.
Mm-mm. All right. What are you going to do with this? You did not add this to digital. If you did, I would punch you right in the fucking mouth.
I did not add it to digital. Did you add it to digital?
I did not.
I'm going to run away from it if I see it in a record store. If I see it in a record store, I'm going to ask them if they have a 45 with Great Balls of Fire on one side and then a whole lot of shaking going on the other. And if they have that, I'm going to buy it.
I would just go watch Top Gun if I want to.
Woo!
Plus,
and you also get a better version of it too.
Yeah. You also what's the song that they sing in the bar together?
Oh, I don't remember.
The Everly Brothers.
What song is it though?
You never close your eyes anymore. When
what's the chorus?
Your lips. You're trying hard not to show it, baby. 'Cause baby, you know it. You've lost that love and feeling.
That's what it was. That's what I was looking for. Yes.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good, Mike. Nice job on that. Okay, so for me, I think that definitely, despite how much of like a piece of shit he kind of is, personally, like just based on the fact that maybe he had something to do with the death of one of his wives and how much he like abused his 13-year-old cousin wife. I mean, he's an undoubtedly impactful musician in American music. Like, you cannot overlook that. You got to maybe separate that a little bit in your mind. I don't know if you can or not, but I think I could a little bit. And I mean, he's a fantastic piano player. He wrote a lot of good songs. He was very prolific as a country artist and helped shape rock and roll. I want him on the list, at least one entry. I don't need it to be an anthology necessarily.
Yeah, so I want him on here too, but I don't want an anthology ever for anybody, and I definitely don't want this on here. It's way too much. I mean, literally, let's narrow this down to 10 songs, and that will actually be all killer, no filler. We plug that into the list. You want to put it in at 325? All right. You want to plug it in at 4 1/4? Sure.
Yeah.
This was
I hear you.
actually a lot higher on the original list.
It was
Was it
like
really?
250 or
Yeah,
something,
it was
right?
2
230 or something. Yeah, it was high.
Wow.
We have
That's
a comment.
shocking.
We have a comment from Charles Scott that says, "Sounds like he earned his nickname, the Killer."
All right. Let's move on to number 324. Released in 2002, we are going to talk about Coldplay's album, Rush of Blood to the Head. Rolling Stone says, in the early 2000s, starry-eyed Britpop boys doing a cuddly version of Radiohead were dime a dozen. Remember Star Sailor? It was Coldplay's second album that showed they were true contenders. Songs like Green Eyes and The Scientist brought back the comforting melodies of Yellow, but the twinkling sonics suggested Prime Smiths or U2. And darker stuff, like the austerely beautiful Death Meditation Amsterdam and the OK Computer Worldly God Put a Smile on Your Face, showed the group had more than arena anthems on its mind. What do you think, gentlemen?
I'm glad that they said, "Okay, computer, God, put a smile on your face," because that's like literally what I wrote for that song. I was like, yeah, it's Radiohead.
I think cuddly version of Radiohead is like a perfect way to describe Coldplay.
You can't put it any better, really.
A cuddly version? Why is Radiohead not cuddly, though?
Well, it's like, okay, maybe like cuddly is not the right way. Maybe cuddly and yet refined, polished, almost scrubbed out of its entire essence version of Radiohead is what Coldplay is.
A lame version of Radiohead.
Oh. All right.
Do you like Coldplay, Mike?
I mean, I don't dislike Coldplay. Why would I dislike them?
That's exactly right. Because why would you? Because it's ultra accessible. I mean, that's like, it's almost like it was made in a lab.
It's not mystery music. Okay. It's not mystery music, bro.
It was concocted for the masses.
Come on.
So
really?
why would you not like it? Because, yeah, I mean, that sounded bad. Okay, let's be clear. I don't hate this album by any means.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because there's not a lot to hate, and honestly, like I kind of feel the same way. I feel kind of what I said. Like this is. So some of this has like this the feel of like 90s alt rock a little bit, okay? But it's highly refined.
Yeah.
Almost like to the point that it's like sterile. You know? Like it's almost perfect. And it's good. Like the instrumentation is really good. The vocals are literally perfect. The guy has like a perfect on paper type of voice. Doesn't get any better. But I don't know if I identify with it that much personally.
Lyrically, you mean?
Just all around. But specifically lyrically, like there's not a lot of humanity to his voice to me because it just sounds too perfect.
I think sterile is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
I get why you would use those descriptive words, but all of those descriptions came with the butt of there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean,
meaning it's not bad.
It's definitely not bad. Yeah. No part of me is saying that.
Would you call it overproduced?
No, actually.
No.
Actually, no. So like listening through, that was like a thought that I had a lot was that really I expected that. I expected to think, oh, this is just like overproduced. It's more like it was just pigeonholed in the terms of the writing. Like it's very particular. Like they clearly were going for a certain sound, and they didn't stray super far from that, except for maybe a couple times throughout the record.
Yeah.
But production wise, like it's honestly fairly minimalist, like more so than I expected. And maybe that's just because of what my can't think of the word, what I expected from it. I expected it to be overproduced, but it really wasn't that much. I mean, there's like piano on there, there's layers, but like on Clocks, that's the one where I was just reading, like there's layers, but there's not too many layers. Like it's a nice piano. There's his vocals, there's the drums. There's not like unnecessary layers, in my opinion. Did you think it was overproduced?
No, I loved it.
Yeah.
I love this record. It's fascinating though, because everything you're describing to me would apply to Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
There's no flubs.
Yeah. No, there's not.
Shit, like that album is like super austere in its production. It's almost like there was a part of me that wondered, was it so overproduced that it sounds like it's not overproduced, that it's just that it comes off as like this subtle production quality? Like she's going for this very particular sound in every song that she does. Like her vocal delivery is always kind of pinpointed towards this one particular target.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad comparison at all.
It's a fascinating juxtaposition given like their proximities on the list.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think I feel about Lana Del Rey the way that you feel about Coldplay.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah.
And I don't I want to be super clear. I don't love all Coldplay.
I love this record.
I really love this one. This was actually the first time that I listened to Coldplay and I thought, wow, like this is a really good band. Like this is lyrically, I thought it was compelling. I mean, his voice is really, really flawless. I get where anybody could find that I don't know, annoying or I don't know, not enjoyable. Like I get it. But at the same time, man, they're really good songs to me.
There are good songs. And like, just to be clear, I'm not trying to shit all over this record. Like I was never at any point like bored. Like it's like I liked it, but part of me was like, that's just because that's what they want. Well, I mean, that's like what everybody wants. But like for example, The Scientist.
They're never trying to make you angry. That's for certain.
No, yeah. It's very accessible. Highly accessible.
Yeah.
And it's meant to just appeal to the masses, I think. And like the song The Scientist, it's very catchy. It's got a good hook on the chorus, good piano sound, but it's basically like a straightforward pop rock kind of ballad, like one of those lighter in the air in the arena kind of songs.
Yeah.
Done for the masses.
I think Scientist is a good example because like Scientist is a good song. It has a great piano part, but like it just feels kind of like detached. Like there's not really any like feeling behind it, is what I kind of get from Coldplay just in general. It's like they just wrote the songs just to like have the most mass appeal that they could.
I mean, whether or not it appeals to a ton of people or whether it only appeals to a fraction, I don't know, man, that gets really weird, right? I mean, as an artist, like if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, it just depends. Like for me, it comes down to what was the intention.
Yeah.
Was their intention to just appeal to the masses and make a bunch of money? Or was their intention to make what they wanted to make and it happens to be that kind of accessible stuff? We don't have a way of knowing that.
Yeah.
I
guess I always assume the latter.
Yeah. Then you're an
so
optimist.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah.
Yes, I am super optimistic. Probably overly so. Okay, so what do you guys want to
I
do
am
with
too,
this?
though. Well, let's talk songs real quick. Like,
Okay.
What songs were your?
I love The Scientist. I enjoyed Clocks. I really, really enjoyed Green Eyes.
Yeah, Green Eyes is good. I like Clocks a lot too. Clocks was one of my favorites. Clocks is like, I feel like that piano line at the beginning of Clocks is what I think when I think Coldplay. Like you can sum up Coldplay to me with the piano line at the beginning of Clocks. What do you think of A Whisper?
I just wrote that it was a big divergence from the rest of the album.
It totally was. I
Yeah.
loved that one. That was my highest starred song.
Really?
Really?
I gave that song 4 stars.
Wow.
I just loved it. I
Just
think
because it was so different.
it was like dark, and I
Yeah.
loved like the verse in particular, and really cool, like overdriven ambient guitar.
Mm-hmm. Green Eyes. Green Eyes has such a catchy, accessible chorus, and I love it. Like I love it lyrically. It's a lot of fun.
Green Eye is my favorite, probably.
Yeah.
Green Eyes is good. Yeah, Green Eyes is really good.
And then I love The Scientist. I really do. Like
Everybody
it's
loves
such
the
a
scientist.
that doesn't make it bad though,
I
in
mean,
and of
it's-
itself.
It's such a good piano part.
Yeah.
But with Green Eyes, it kind of sums up how I feel about it. Cause like, I don't know, you guys just said it was your favorite, but so it was I wrote some good things that I liked. And then like the way I capped it off was I wrote fiercely decent, which is kind of how I felt about it. Or just kind of about the whole album. But
So what are you gonna do with this thing then? You
I think
want
we
it
need one
completely off the
Coldplay
list?
album on the list. We need one Coldplay album on the list.
Why
and-
though? If they've always done the same thing, or is that not?
So we
your
just need
argument?
one.
Maybe your argument is they didn't do that on their debut because they couldn't. I mean, I don't know. When you're
I just feel like
when
for
you're
me-
so small, you can't intentionally appeal to just like hundreds of millions of people. So
I just feel like for me personally, there's no way that these guys put 2 albums out that are worthy of being on the list of the best of all time.
I agree.
And maybe that's just because the other side of me is like, you know what? The best albums are the best albums. And if they put 2 of the best albums, like we're not going to just limit it just because they're Coldplay, but
there are so many bands in general that got fucking snubbed on this list that there are a ton of bands that you need to pare that shit down to 1. And I would totally accept that with Coldplay. The problem that I have is that this might be the one that I chose over Parachutes.
So the reason that I was thinking that one has to be on here too is because we don't have a lot of the big hits. We don't have I don't know what's on Parachutes, but we don't have Yellow.
Yellow's on.
We don't have
Parachutes.
Speed of Sound. Is that on Parachutes too?
Yeah.
We don't have Fix You. Is that on Parachutes too? So Parachutes is going to be on here then. Is what you're
exactly.
saying.
And it's going to be really high too.
So we need one.
Yeah, I would drop this one. Keep Parachutes.
See, I know those 3 songs. I don't know the rest of Parachutes. So I'm not even going to make an opinion. I'm not
Spoiler
even going to
alert.
assert an opinion.
I mean, I don't want to ruin your listening experience, but the 3 songs that you know sound a whole lot like the rest of that record.
So you think I would like this one more?
No. I think you're going to dislike them both. But I think that you're going to know more on Parachutes. And so you're going to say, yeah, this should probably be the one.
I don't dislike
Yeah.
it. I don't want you to think I dislike it because I don't dislike it, but I just think it's a little packaged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I feel.
But I don't dislike packaged stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No.
Like that's not a turnoff for me.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm okay with packaged shit because Michael Jackson was packaged as fuck.
That's pretty true.
That's true.
And I love Michael Jackson.
too.
Madonna was packaged as fuck, and I love Madonna.
Maybe I just don't like this version of packaged as much as I like those versions of packaged. But I don't hate this.
I do think that when you package a band versus package an individual singer, there's a part of that that feels grosser to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but like when you're talking about individual singers like Whitney, Michael, Janet, like any individual performer like that, of course they're packaged because they're typically not going to play with the same studio musicians. Like they're not going to play with the same producers. Different producers are going to make them sound different ways. They're performance artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to a band. And I don't want to feel like a band is just intentionally kind of packaged.
So you
know.
don't feel like this band's packaged, or you feel like they are, and it just doesn't bother you that much because you like the songs?
Yes. the
Second one?
latter.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if they are packaged, I really don't care.
I got you. Yeah. I don't hate you for that at all.
I'm gonna try and recycle.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Cool.
Okay.
Any final thoughts? We should read Rex. He did email us about that, and while we're at it, we should read Rex's thoughts on Jerry Lee Lewis.
You son of a bitch. Rex.
Here, I'll pull it up. Loading. You got it?
Okay.
You read Jerry, I'll read Coldplay.
So Rex says of Jerry Lee Lewis, love him or hate him, he was a talented country musician. Some of my most favorite tracks are his later country music years. He helped usher in rock and roll era. You must appreciate that, but this collection is just tolerable. That's about it. To me, there's nothing special about this album. We're too close to 300 for just winging a random album out just to put the artist on the bullshit list, and that's what the selection feels like. Elvis was the greatest, but I'm the best. Jerry Lee Lewis.
See, I kind of know what he's saying. Like he said winging a random album out just to put the artist. That's what it felt like. It felt like they were not putting this album on the list. They were putting Jerry Lee Lewis on the list.
Well, and I'm sure that the assumption was, well, how do we do that? Which album do we select? And they should have just selected fucking Great Balls of Fire and called it a day and selected his rockabilly shit, which I think most people, well, that's not true.
See, the problem was they wanted to represent both his rockabilly contribution and his country career,
That's right.
But
either way.
Yeah, just pick one.
Have like a smaller greatest hits, like a 10-song greatest hits.
He has to. Yeah. Okay. Rex on Rush of Blood to the Head, Coldplay. I think this is the first album I've listened to on this list that has a track that has over 1 billion listens on Spotify.
Wow.
Not only is that impressive, but their sophomore album is. Coldplay is an easy listening version of Radiohead. I said what I said. I dig this album. Everything melds well together. Vocals, piano, melodies.
See? But that's what you're saying too. And I think Rex would probably agree with you guys. If he was here, it'd probably wind up I think he would agree with the package argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Oscar Mayer pop music.
Yeah, that's what it is. But again, I don't dislike it. I don't want you to go away thinking I dislike Coldplay. I could listen to it. And if I went to a show, I'm sure it'd be super fun, Yeah. But it's just.
No, it wouldn't be super fun. It'd be kind of a downer. And there'd be different parts in the show where you'd be like, you'd get hit with the feels.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be dumb. Whatever.
But
it's just Coldplay.
It's a little too. Yeah. You know what I said.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna drop it, plug in something else. Riley, are you gonna drop it and plug in something else?
Yeah.
Because Parachutes appears elsewhere.
I mean, if Dixie was on Parachutes,
I'm not making a decision until I hear Parachutes, and we'll have time to talk about that again.
Yeah.
Because I might say, you know what? I do like those 3 songs, but I like this better. We'll see.
There is at least 100 records that I would put on this list if you told me we'll keep Parachutes and you can plug in whatever else you want onto this
instead
list.
Of Rush of Blood.
Yeah. But I really love this record.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't love this record because I really do love this record.
Yeah.
But I would also be willing to sacrifice the fuck out of this thing for an easy 100 albums.
You would straight up burn this album at the stake for 100 other albums.
Yeah. I'd bury it with hits.
Yeah. Okay, 323, The Clash, Sandinista, our first Clash from 1980. The Clash's ballooning ambition peaked with Sandinista, a 3-album set named after the Nicaraguan revolutionary movement. Joe Strummer and Mick Jones reached beyond punk and reggae and into dub, R&B, calypso, gospel, and even a kids' chorus on career opportunities, whatever crossed their minds. As Strummer said years later, even though it would have been better as a double album or a single album or an EP, who knows? The fact is that we recorded all that music in one spat at one moment in a 3-week blast. For better or worse, that's the document.
Okay, seriously, fuck you, Joe. Come on, dude. 18. Right? You could cut half of these fucking songs out and it would be such a burner of a record.
Dude, I think he should have kept going. They should have just kept doing whatever they wanted to.
I'll let you guys go at each other on this.
Well, we're not going to go at each other. I really enjoyed it. It's fine. It would have been a much better single record.
You definitely could have trimmed some stuff off, but I really like it just because it's the Clash, just doing whatever they want, That's super punk.
I like that too. Although it was a lot to listen to, but I like the idea that it was just they were just like, fuck it, we'll just record whatever we lay down and whatever comes out comes out. It doesn't feel like they didn't sit down and they're like, all right guys, we got to make a record and we got to make it a really, really accurate representation, concise of what we're doing. They were just like, let's just record it all and just see what fucking happens. And then they were like, hey, let's just release all of it and let's even sacrifice our royalties so we can charge less for it, because they did that. Like the band didn't want to charge what the record company wanted to charge for a triple LP. So the band said, oh, just pay us less and you can just charge normal, which is cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
They actually wanted to make it a triple LP just because they were like pissed at their record company because they wanted to make London Calling a double album and they got a lot of pushback on it. And then they released some other double album like right after that they just did.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. It's long. It's a lot. If they were just going for making a concise record, they could have cut some of these out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they would have tried to remake a London Calling.
Yeah. Which is going to be, what do you think? Top 100?
Easy.
Top
Top 50. Yeah.
Top 50, you think so?
London Calling is like,
It might be, dude, that might be 25.
Maybe top 25.
I just listened to it fucking today because I got it from that goddamn Amazon Music thing.
It's good
I
shit.
spun it today. That fucking record smashes.
It smashes big time.
And the thing is this one does too.
Yeah.
I don't dislike this record. I want this record on this list. I probably want it higher than this because I love what The Clash does. The Clash is so fucking smart.
They are super intelligent.
Like the level of intelligence that you have to understand everything that's happening, particularly with the lyrics that are going on. Get the fuck out of here. That's really good.
Yeah.
I love the dub.
The dub is good. There's a lot of dub too.
A ton of fucking dub.
Speaking of dub, though, there's just so many different styles on this. There's calypso music on there. I don't know if I realized how much reggae The Clash does, but there's a lot of it on here.
Well, and that's where the question becomes. I mean, I'm assuming that you're calling all of those dub versions of all the songs, like you're calling that reggae, right?
No, there's reggae and there's dub on here.
Oh, geez.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So dub is like electronic reggae, basically. Dub came from reggae. Dub is like a style of music that was based on introducing electronic samples to reggae.
To reggae music.
Yeah. So
Okay.
but there's some stuff on here that's just straight reggae. Like Junko
A couple.
Partner.
Yeah.
Junko Partner, third track. That's not dub.
All right. That's fair, just because of the instrumentation.
Yeah, I mean dub, I think for it to be dub, I think it has to have electronic.
Synthesizers?
I don't even know if it's just synth. I think it has to be like heavily sampled electronic based song. I could be wrong. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know?
don't
Does
know that
anybody know?
Yeah, I don't know that there's like a textbook definition of dub music versus reggae music, but
I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find some answer for us. So, so basically, reggae is a form of music. I'm confused by that. That grew in the late '60s, uses natural instruments. Dub is an electronic style of music formed from reggae using electronic drums and sampled bass. So basically,
in theory,
dub,
it's all reggae.
Yeah, it's all reggae, but dub is like electronic.
DJ reggae.
Yeah, DJ reggae. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then that's fair. Well, then there's no dub on here.
Well, there's definitely like
because it's all reggae then.
I think there's a couple tracks that where they use some pretty heavily electronic parts and some sampled parts. I'm trying to find out like
my favorite was, which one was the one where it's the other fucking song backwards? Is it Menswith Hill? Is that what it is?
There's a version partner. Okay, so speaking of dub, track 34 is just a dub version of Junko Partner. So Junko,
yes.
So if you listen to those two, you can really, really get the difference between reggae and dub. Okay, because the third track on the album is Junko Partner, which is a straight up reggae tune. 34 is a dub version of that same song. So mostly dubs are instrumental too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Silicone and Sapphire was a dub version of Washington Bullets.
Yep.
Living in Fame was the dub of If Music Could Talk.
Yeah, a lot of these songs are dub versions of other songs on the record.
Yeah.
So someone went on a little dubby. And then so
I love Charlie
11.
Don't Surf. Holy shit, dude. Charlie Don't Surf is so fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That had that like bass effect at the beginning. It sounded like Fishes Down with Disease.
Yeah.
Does.
And the phaser on the guitar, at least I wrote it down as a phaser. I thought that it was a phaser at the end of the song. Was
I think you're right.
crazy.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Tracks 11 and 12. So
What's
track
the
11
title?
was One More Time, which started off as a reggae song and then it turned into a disco song.
Okay.
But then 12 was called One More Dub. So it was like a dub version of track 11.
Yeah.
So
I love
there's
them
a lot
both.
of that.
They
Yeah.
were really good.
What were some of your favorite tunes other than those? Yeah. either
You,
one of
Riley. What do you got?
My favorite is Washington Bullets.
His favorite is Watch. He texted me that earlier. I knew that. Fantastic song. Really,
Yeah.
really, really good.
I
I
loved it.
like Somebody Got Murdered.
So good. I
I
gave
love
that
that
one 3
too.
stars.
I gave
Um,
it 2.
What's the immigrant song? I can't remember.
That's
the name of it.
Zeppelin. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I had to do it. I'm looking through. I'll find it. Don't worry.
Magnificent Seven is a great song. Hitsville
Yep.
UK is a great song.
I did not like Hitsville UK. That's the only, that might be the only song on this entire fucking triple LP that I didn't put a star next to.
It's
Where's that?
definitely
Where is
very,
that? What
like-
number is that?
It's
Number
literally
2.
the second song.
Yeah, it's very poppy for the Clash.
God, I fucking hated it.
It sounded like a gospel song to me. It was almost like soul.
There were some gospel songs on there.
Yeah.
That was a duet with the guitarist and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I gave that one a star. It's
I
very
didn't.
okay.
I
I
didn't.
loved Ivan Meets G.I. Joe. Love
2
that.
stars
song.
next to that.
Ivan Meets G.I. Joe.
Yep.
Super catchy. That's like house music basically, or like
Yeah.
like disco.
An
I
early
love
version of it.
I love disco like punk. That's a crazy good combination. You don't hear a lot of that. You know
No.
what I mean?
I love the crooked beat.
That's a good one.
Did you count that out? Like, did you figure out what the fuck they were doing in terms of time signature
On
the
Ivan?
crooked beat? No, the crooked beat.
Crooked beat. Which track is that?
9.
Crooked beat. I didn't write anything about it. So,
God damn you.
but I
I
can
love
find
that
out and
song,
get back
dude.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you think in terms of time signature on it.
So Somebody Got Murdered. I loved that one. One More Time. I loved that one. Let's Go Crazy. I liked that one a lot. Calypso song.
Yeah.
The
I
so-
wrote Caribbean vibe.
yeah. I think it means the same thing.
Yeah.
The Sound of Sinners was a gospel jam.
That's an interesting one.
I gave that one 4 stars.
I did too.
Did you really?
Ooh, I did
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Loved that one. Good vibe there.
Those lyrics, dude. And
those
that's
good
the
lyrics.
fucking thing, man. The Clash, they fucking so intelligent.
Yeah.
Jesus, like frighteningly intelligent and incisive with their lyrics.
I loved Washington Bullets. Okay, so let me tell you what my favorite song was, though.
I loved the call up. I fucking loved the call up.
Oh wait, where was that? It's like sorry guys,
Right
just so you know, this
before Washington
this album is 36 songs
36
long. That's why we keep
songs.
asking, because we're like we have to go to chapter 2 in our book here to find whatever. Which track is that?
I
It's
have-
right before Washington Bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, 22. I love that one too. I
Yeah.
gave that one a couple. I wrote that I wasn't sure what to call that, like genre wise, like new wave, reggae, punk.
The xylophone that they play on there really kind of fucks things up a little bit, but there's a lyric that literally made me think about the Dark Tower.
What was it?
It was a lyric where it says, there is a rose that I want to live for.
Ooh, there's only
Right?
one rose that you can live for. Yeah.
Exactly. Only one rose.
There was the Marine Corps chant at the end of that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that one.
1, 2, 3.
So my
4.
very favorite song, though, I haven't mentioned it yet.
Marine Corps.
Yeah, exactly. My very favorite song on this entire record is Version City,
Which is a harmonica song.
What?
number 31.
I know. What the fuck are you
Which is crazy
talking about?
because it had a harmonica on it. I wrote my personal favorite song, Despite the Harmonica. That song was probably the catchiest, most danceable groove
The
on the
bass line,
entire record. And it was a
Have a
simple
groove.
bass line, just like dun 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 dun,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
But it was so
Dun,
good
dun,
though.
It's the vocals, like Version City. I just loved everything about that song. It's so simple. It has two parts. Each of the two parts really only have two chords to them, but it just feels so good. That one stuck out to me so much the first time. I was just like, damn, this feels amazing. Love it. So for me, go listen to Version City. It's deep in the record. It's number 31.
Yeah, I know. If I was gonna tell somebody to only listen to one song on this record out of 36,
Riley, your answer would be Washington Bullets, right?
Everyone should listen to Washington Bullets, man.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at too. I'm either Washington Bullets or the Call Up, honestly.
Call Up is a good song.
And
to
I
listen
love
to.
the Call Up.
You might as well listen to both because they're
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah, they are back to back. What are you going to do with it in terms of placement? Obviously, if I can find this triple LP even on reissue, I'll pick it up.
I'll pick it up.
Not too proud to beg.
Speaking of the Temptations anthology,
Mhm.
I'm leaving it where it is.
think
I like
it's
it
fine
where it's at.
Are you good with it?
I don't want to drop it down, but I know we have more Clash coming.
What's the next Clash record that either of you want to see?
Honestly, I know this one now, and I basically knew London Calling before. So
I mean, London Calling will be high.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see Combat Rock.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. We have to.
I mean,
That
I
has
would
to be the
think
next
it'd be
Clash.
on there. I'm not sure where it would be, but
That
it
has to be the next
Should I stay or
Clash.
should I go?
I'm not
I mean,
at all
deserves to be
intimately
on.
familiar with that record. So
Dude, Rock the Casbah?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Get
that's
the fuck out of here. It's
I would be
so
surprised
good.
if it wasn't on there.
it makes
I'd be
sense
shocked.
that Rock the Casbah and Should I Stay or Should I Go are on the same record. Those are.
I'm gonna say that we get Combat Rock. Combat Rock is next, and I'm gonna say that we get it between 200 and 250.
I think that's
Like
probably right.
100 north of here would
And
be fitting.
Yeah. And I think that London Calling will be the other one, and that'll be it for the Clash.
Yes,
Probably.
I'm with you on that.
With that being said, I'm cool with where this one's at. What do you think, Mike?
I'm good with it too.
Yeah.
Like if it
Yeah.
moved up a little bit, I wouldn't be saddened by that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like if this is our first delve into the Clash, it's a wild one too, just because it's so fucking long and really loose. You know what I mean? Like this is a super, super loose record. And when you think
Definitely.
about how much material it is recorded over 3 fucking weeks, that's some wild shit.
Yeah, agreed.
Like
Yeah.
really wild shit. So, but yeah, I'm cool with it where it's at. If it jumped up 20 to 25, I'd be cool with that too.
You want to read Rex?
All right. Rexy Poo says that I ain't gonna lie on this one. Never listened to the Clash before. Stylistically, it seems that there is no other band that sounds like the Clash.
That's pretty
Each
true.
song is their own song, and I don't know how to describe the sound coming off of this album. It's a good album. It's apparently that they have had their own cultural relevance even today. This is kind of exciting. Like I'm excited for Rex. Because when he gets to like more accessible Clash, and I think Combat Rock is more accessible than London Calling.
That's probably their most accessible. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Just because it has so many fucking like really, really catchy, good hits on there. And probably my favorite one is it Straight to Hell? Straight to
Yeah,
Hell is
sounds
the
about right.
sample that MIA used in Paper Planes.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I didn't
And when
even
you listen,
realize that.
and when you listen to it, it's instantly recognizable.
I'll
So
go
the
do
next
that.
time that you listen to Straight to Hell, when you hear that guitar, you're gonna be like, oh motherfucker, because it's Paper Planes, heart and soul. So yeah, Rex, I'm excited for you because as we move on, it's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, you should listen to the Clash.
Yes, absolutely. The Clash, listen, it's funny because you said no other band sounds like the Clash. That is
exactly
100% correct.
They do
Nobody
their own
else.
thing, and it's great.
Yeah.
Always.
Super, super unique. Okay, so moving on. The next record that we're going to talk about is number 322 on the list. It is the 1969 release from Elvis Presley entitled From Elvis in Memphis. Rolling Stone says, quote, I had to leave town for a little while, Elvis Presley sings on the first track. Along with his 1968 TV special, this record announced he was back. With the help from a crack crew of Memphis musicians, Presley masterfully tackles quality material from country, I'm Moving On, gospel, Long Black Limousine, soul, Only the Strong Survive, and pop, Any Day Now, as well as message songs In the Ghetto. The same sessions also yielded one of Presley's greatest singles, the towering pop soul masterpiece, Suspicious Minds. Dude, I'm glad that
They mentioned that. Yeah.
I'm glad that I talked with you about that.
Yep. Did you listen to Suspicious Minds? Because it was not on the OG release. Where did you listen to it?
Spotify. It was on
Then you
Spotify.
listened to it because you listened to. So your version was 16 songs long. Am I correct? The OG version had 12 songs, and it cut it off at In the Ghetto, which is the last one on there, on the OG release.
But I think that was the A and B side of the 45.
Was Suspicious Minds.
Suspicious Minds, along with In the Ghetto.
Yeah.
Dude, every time I see the words in the and ghetto, all I can hear is Cartman.
I was
from
gonna
South
say
Park
that same
singing.
In the Ghetto. You're helpless. That's the thing. Yeah. You're helpless at that point. You're just like some kind of physical being just responding. There's no thought to it. Yeah. Like I don't mean you, I just mean anybody. Yeah.
It's my lizard brain. It's just like in the ghetto.
I mean me too. I just mean anybody.
How can you not, man?
Like, so let's just get right into it. I've never been crazy about In the Ghetto. Honestly, it's kind of cheesy to me. Definitely cheesy, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, there's something to be said for that point that like I wrote, try not singing the backup In the Ghetto. Like when he sings In the Ghetto, like literally physically try to resist from going In the Ghetto. Like you can't. There's no way you can.
Can I give you my manifesto on this album?
Yeah.
This is the penultimate Elvis fucking record. He's almost at the perfect age, right? So he's just cut all these fucking movies about how he's like a World War II guy. He's in fucking Hawaii. He's doing this. He's doing everything because he's fucking Elvis. He gets done with that last movie, and then this is the record that he cuts. So this is Elvis, like, he's not super fucked up on drugs yet, right? His voice is like mature and full and big, and they put crazy fucking musicians behind him.
Yeah.
Dude,
To me, this is the best version of Elvis that anybody could ever hope for.
Which one are you saying is the ultimate then one?
Suspicious Minds.
That's a record?
No, I'm
Because you
saying
said
that,
penultimate, right?
No. Oh, I meant the ultimate.
You meant
I'm
the
sorry.
ultimate. Okay, you
Yes.
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the quintessential Elvis record.
Okay,
to
I
me.
see. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I
This
agree.
this is the peak.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets any better than this for Elvis.
No, I really I kind of don't like Elvis because my grandfather is like super into Elvis and he has this Elvis jukebox in his basement that when I was a kid and we would go over there for Christmas or whatever, my cousins would just play like the hits of Elvis over and over and over again on repeat. And I freaking hate it. And I didn't expect to like this album.
Hate it.
And it was like amazing. It really surprised me.
It's everything you fucking want.
Yeah.
Because his voice and mostly for me, it's his voice, the maturity,
Because
the
there is
quality
that. It's
of his
thicker.
voice.
His voice is thicker than compared to the last one. You know
Dude,
what I mean?
Yes, the last one it was almost tinny. I'm sorry, I'm not urinating. I promise I'm not peeing. Anyway, his voice was like really tinny and it was super young on the last record, you know?
So on this one, he still on a couple of the tracks does that annoying wavery thing to me. That version of
Absolutely.
vibrato that's like breathy vibrato. And I don't like it. I still don't like it here. But
But the occurrences,
are fewer and far between.
they're almost minimal. Like
Yeah.
he brings that shit in every once in a while, and I almost feel like that's the wink and the nod for the older ladies in the crowd that were there whenever he was doing it as a baby.
Yeah. And he's still. So when was that last one? Do you remember the year? I could probably look
1956. He was 19
So this is
years old.
13 years later. So he's 22 years old, 32 years old, 22 years old, 13 years after he was 19. Obviously, 19 plus 13 is 22. 32 years old.
Dude, 32, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it like that, it is peak fucking Elvis. Like it's everything you could possibly
He's like
want
in his
Elvis.
prime.
Yes.
32. Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than this. And the peak is Suspicious Minds.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But it's not even on the OG version. It's crazy that I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that they decided not to put that on the original version.
But that's because that was released as a 45.
as a B side to the single.
Not even a B-side. Like it was released as a standalone on its own. It was just released as a standalone single.
Gotcha.
And then they
Okay.
tacked it on. They tacked it on in later releases of this album because it was recorded at the same session. Like it was absolutely recorded at the same session. It was just a different producer that did Suspicious Minds than the producer that had done some of the other tracks on the OG release of this record.
Yeah, I loved it too. Loved it. What else did you like?
Wait. I don't want to finish talking about Suspicious
Okay, we're still talking about Suspicious Minds. Keep going, Mike. Yeah.
The backup singers. Did you notice the backup singers?
I think so.
They're really
I
good.
didn't write anything down about them in particular.
I love the backup singers on this whole fucking album.
But on that one in
Seriously.
particular.
No, but on this whole album, these backup singers are fantastic. Suspicious Minds is special because the lead backup singer on Suspicious Minds is a woman by the name of Donna Jean Thatcher.
I thought you were going to say Godshaw. Is that the same woman?
This feels like a
Pre-marriage?
Scooby-Doo episode. Yes, that is the same woman. Grateful Dead Donna. That every fucking Dead
Not surprising,
fan
actually. She
loves
was like
to
super
hate.
involved with
I know.
this scene.
Dude, she is the backup vocalist on Suspicious Minds.
Didn't know that.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I didn't know. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, how did she get so much worse at singing when she was with the
I was about to say the same thing, dude. Like, she somehow didn't ruin that. She somehow didn't ruin Elvis. She ruined the Dead, but
Dude, she beautified Elvis. Love it, love it, love it. Listen, when I fucking read that was goddamn Grateful Dead Donna, I almost flipped my lid on that one. So sorry.
we just got a comment. My mother is currently watching live, so everybody say hi. Everybody say hi to my mom.
Hi, JB's mom.
Hi, Lori.
She has a name, and it's Lori. Just kidding, Mike.
Hi, Lori.
Anyways, that's crazy. Donna Jean on Suspicious Minds somehow didn't fuck it up. What else did you guys like on this album, song wise?
Only the Strong Survive was my favorite. The only song I didn't like was the Daddy's Tears song.
Oh,
That
fuck
also
me,
wasn't on
dude.
the OG.
was
That also
fucking
wasn't on
terrible.
the OG though.
That was a terrible song. The
That was
bass line
another-
on Only the Strong Survive is ridiculously
Dude,
good.
the band in general was great, but the bass was really good on
Yeah.
this album.
That was
Oh.
kind of Motowny,
It was more soul.
Yeah, it was
very
That's
soul like. I like the first one a lot, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
wearing that
Loved On look, like
It's
pretty groovy.
fucking-
Wearing that Loved On
It's
look.
funky.
Who's the guy? It kind of reminds me of like Tom Jones a little bit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
His style. He's got
This
that
one
kinda
felt funkier though.
bluesy.
Like
Yeah, it's a little funkier,
it
definitely.
felt funkier.
I loved Keeps Right On a Hurtin',
Which one is that?
country swing song from
yeah.
the fifth track.
Yep.
It keeps right on a hurtin'. Just a great
There was like,
hook.
There was like a chunk after the first couple of tracks where it kind of bled into this stuff where I liked it. I enjoyed it. I actually added this digital because I'll fucking listen to the fuck out of this record.
Nice. There you go.
And if I can
Good.
find the vinyl, I'm telling you, this is the Elvis that you want to listen to. It's the perfect Elvis. But there, like after the first two tracks, there were 2 or 3 songs in a row that just felt a little, I don't know. They weren't my favorite. But then it picked back up again for me with It Keeps Right On Hurtin' and I'm Moving On.
So my favorite track was I'm Moving On.
Yeah.
Had by far the most stars for me. In terms of the OG release,
Yeah.
was I moving on? Pedal steel. I'm a sucker for pedal steel.
I am too.
If you put pedal steel, I'm gonna love it.
I know.
It doesn't matter what you even do with it. You just scratch on it. It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna like it. And there was some like odd timing on that, and there were little bass guitar interludes. Like they would do a little break, and it was like the bass guitar, and I loved that one.
Lots of guitar work on this record too was like subtly
Pretty legit,
really
yeah.
good.
But subtly is the right term for it because it was very restrained. It was very song serving. True Love Travels on a Gravel Road. I liked that one a lot too. Yeah. One of the best hooks on the entire record.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to mention In the Ghetto. Like I said, cheesy to me, not my favorite, but good luck trying not to sing that back.
I really like In the Ghetto. I feel like when this came out, it was kind of a message that like needed to be said, you know?
Here's the thing. It's a great fucking song, but when you hear Elvis saying those words, you're just like, okay.
Yeah. He's a little detached.
But you gotta remember how he grew up,
It's
though.
the messenger. No,
He was poor as shit.
Yeah, but by now,
at this point, yeah,
he's got
he's like the richest guy in the world.
Fuck you money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
so listening to him sing this now, no.
Yeah.
Dude, if you were doing this like when you were coming up and you were doing it like with real feeling and stuff, goddamn, that'd be powerful. Right now, no. Sorry,
he
dude.
still came from there though. That makes something. I think it's legit.
I think it's just like a
chickens
very
come
simple-
from eggs, you know.
Yeah,
it's pretty legit. Chicken's just like an egg.
It's exactly the same. That's a different situation.
I'm such an asshole.
I think that, I mean, you can work out of a situation and you can still retain some of the wisdom that you gained during that situation, right?
That's true. Very true. All right. What do you want to do with this record?
I wouldn't know. But I would probably I want it higher than the other Elvis record, and I'm glad that it is.
I want it significantly higher though.
Do you want it higher than it is now?
No, which means that I probably want to take the other
one
Elvis
off?
record
Down.
I don't want to take it off because early Elvis was really important.
Yeah.
It's like within the context of the evolution of music, early Elvis was really, really important. So I don't want to take it off, but dropping it 125 or more would be comfortable with me.
I hear you. Riley?
Do you think there will be more Elvis?
No.
You think this is it, huh?
I think this is the pinnacle.
I think this is like, I mean, I'm not familiar with Elvis's whole catalog, but I can't think of a way a record could be better than this from him. So
I know. That's where I'm at too.
It just seems crazy though that this will be the last one.
Okay.
Elvis is like one of the most iconic American musical artists of all time. Like if you were to make a list, one thing real quick. If you were to make a list of like the top 10 most iconic American musical artists, he would be on it.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sorry,
top
go
10.
ahead and say what you're going to say.
Dude, he's definitely top 10.
So
in
like
music icons.
I'd be surprised not to see at least one more.
Here's the thing though. He wasn't just a music icon. He was also a huge fucking movie star.
Yeah.
So this was a record that he did after he made like 8 fucking films.
Yeah.
And for every single one of those films, he recorded a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like he was the soundtrack. So this finished a 10 record deal for him. And the preceding records before this were like all fucking movie soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, I don't know that he has like this really deep
catalog of
music catalog that you would say, oh, like this, like what are you gonna fucking shove Blue Hawaii in there?
Maybe they do.
No, fuck it, they don't. God damn it. Not with Suspicious Minds. Come on.
Yeah, probably not.
That was definitely Suspicious Minds may have been his biggest hit.
It just seems crazy though that like there wouldn't be one higher than this because this is not that high on the list. I mean, we're not even to the halfway point.
What record do you think has Love Me Tender on it? And is that the Elvis that we get? If we get more Elvis, I could text my sister. Do you want me to text my sister? Or Derek can tell us.
Well, it says that
Derek just gave me a really funny look.
Google's telling me that "Love Me Tender" was released by Elvis in the year 2020.
That doesn't seem right.
I don't think that seems right.
Damn,
me,
dude.
To me, at least. Yeah.
How's his voice? His voice is solid in 2020.
Oh, that was on a. So that was on a movie soundtrack, dude.
Which one?
The movie was
Dune.
called "Love Me Tender." Did you say Dune? It was on the Two Towers. But no, it's no, it was from the same title, the movie. So that probably was on that. Probably not going to get that soundtrack on this list.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think so. Anyway.
But we are going to get Howard Shore's Two Towers soundtrack on this list. Guarantee it.
Absolutely.
That should be on there.
Probably
How did you
number
get it?
1. Yeah.
If anybody ever finds this vinyl and you know me, buy it for me and I'll pay you back. I promise.
For the Elvis?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I want this vinyl.
Yeah, I would like it too.
I'd rather have a Riri though. I'd rather have a Riri with Suspicious Minds.
A nice clean one that has those additional bonus tracks. Yeah.
It's the bonus tracks. Because the OG version would be cool because there's plenty of songs in the first part of this that I like and I would like to have on vinyl. But I really want Suspicious Minds.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Well, let's read Rex real quick. I'll do that.
Yep.
So Rex Todd's thoughts on Elvis Presley. I haven't listened to anything from Elvis beyond his hits. This is a great album. Wearing That Love Down Look is a great tune, as well as almost every single track in all caps. Great album, great jams. Love this one. Great spot on the list. Yeah, he's a fan.
Boom. I'm a fan too.
Yeah. No, me too. The final track of the night, 321, is Lana Del Rey's Norman fucking Rockwell. Lana Del Rey became a music blog sensation playing the poker-faced millennial Nancy Sinatra on her debut single, Video Games. She kept growing as an artist, and on her wonderfully titled 6th album, perfected her epic vision of doomed, decadent, 70s steeped California romance on songs like Mariner's Apartment Complex and the 9-minute crusher Venice Bitch. Del Rey dropped references to the Eagles and Graham Nash, merging her own music into the Laurel Canyon canon. No less an authority on 70s greatness than Elton John called the album's songs timeless.
That's a crazy description of this record.
Especially the last part, like
I know,
Elton John calling your songs timeless. Can you imagine like a greater affirmation to like write an album and Elton John says that shit is timeless? You'd be like, I retire.
Do you think Bradley Knoll is like, I knew that shit was timeless, dog.
Doing time.
That might be one of the best. That cover is up there with Landslide by Smashing Pumpkins. Have you heard this?
I thought you were going to say the Dixie Chicks.
No, but have you heard the Smashing Pumpkins cover of Landslide?
No, actually. But I'm sure we'll get to it soon.
No, we won't.
Well, not the Smashing Pumpkins cover, but
yeah, definitely not.
Because like Rumors, get it not to do too much of a sidetrack. Rumors is going to be probably top 10, but we're definitely going to get the self-titled Fleetwood Mac, and I bet it's not top. I bet it's not top 100. I bet it's top 200. So we'll probably get to it in a little while.
That'd be awesome.
Which has Landslide on it. So.
Yeah,
but we're not going to get to Smashing Pumpkins cover.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but
I loved her cover of Doing Time.
It was really good, man.
Spot on.
It was
dude.
super faithful. It was like she didn't do a whole lot. She basically the drums were like electronic as opposed to the original, which is like analog drums. Super good though. I love it. Like, yeah, loved it. I gave that one several stars, 3 to be exact. I don't know why I said several. I gave it many stars.
Venice Bitch is my favorite song on this record, and we'll end up talking about that for a long time. But Doing Time, I want to make sure they said this right. Venice Bitch is the best song on the record. Doing Time is my favorite song on the record. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can talk about whichever one you want. but Doing Time is so fucking good.
Riley didn't love Doing Time as much, right?
Really?
I thought it was okay. I just prefer Sublime.
Listen, I do too,
Yeah.
but man, I'm good with the way
See,
I like her style on it.
That's the
It's
hard
really
thing about a
good.
cover is like sometimes when you hear a cover, it just makes you think of the original. And
That's
for you,
exactly
it
what
sounds
happened.
like that's what this did. You were just like, you know, I'm hearing the original in my head. That's what I want to hear. And that's kind of what I felt like when we did our last Elvis record and we came across I Got a Woman. I was like, you know what? So literally the first time I did a cold listen, not to get too sidetracked, on that first Elvis record, I got to the like third or fourth track, which was his cover of I Got a Woman, and I stopped listening and I switched over. I listened to Ray Charles for like 45 minutes because I was like, you know what? I was like, I prefer Ray Charles's version so much that I'm just literally going to go to put that song on and then just shuffle Ray Charles because I love Ray Charles. But with this, I didn't feel that way. Like I loved this version. It didn't make me wish, but for Riley, it did.
I did that exact same thing. I listened to it and then I went and listened to
You went and listened to Sublime?
I just wanted to hear Bradley. I would have liked it a lot more if she would have like made it her own a little bit.
Yeah, because she didn't really like I said, it was pretty faithful.
Yeah,
which I didn't hate. I like that she kind of she did it in her own style. Like she sang, she didn't try to emulate his vocal nuances. She did it with the Lana style, but she did a good job. It was very faithful. It was pretty much like the original. Yeah.
It's crazy because for me, it's really hard to do both. If you're making a cover your own, you're almost never faithful. And yet, if you're faithful, you're almost never making it your own.
And this was like a perfect balance.
I feel like she did both.
Yeah.
Because her vocal delivery is so unique. But that's my biggest criticism of this album is there is no variation to her vocal delivery. She also does the talk sing thing. And I fucking hate talk singing. It's not my thing.
I hate some people's versions of it, but I don't hate her version of it.
And that's
I
cool.
was okay with it.
Maybe I just like her voice. I think her voice is kind of sexy.
Her voice is great.
One of my favorite tracks is which one was the one where she was talking about which one was the one with the bathing suit where she's like, I'm going to take off my bathing suit.
That was the greatest.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Wait, no. That was the Next Best American record. I don't remember. It was one of those two.
I don't remember
either the greatest or Next Best American.
It had to have been the Next Best American record though, because it had kind of that trip hop feel leading into that.
It was Next Best American record because it was like, I just want to party with you, and it was like taking off my bathing suit.
Yeah. That's a fucking great song.
I love that one too.
So many great songs on here.
There are so many stars on my paper right here. Like I wish. So the first 3 tracks, 5 each one.
No way.
Seriously.
Really?
I fived each of them.
Jesus.
So Norman fucking Rockwell.
That's insane.
So first of all, just the very first line, and I was like showing this song to my girlfriend. I was like, just listen to this very first line. It's just like one of the most beautiful melodies.
Dude,
like that. Goddamn man child. When she goes down to that, I'm just like, like it's an amazing melody.
Dude,
like it's so simple and it's so good. It's 3 chords. It's a 1-5-4 in the Mixolydian key, and the way that she just does that, the way that she just sings that. It's I love it.
I did not know what to expect from this album at all. And that very first line of the piano, I was like totally in on it.
She could have just done like "Goddamn man child" next song, and it would have been like 5 stars. You know.
So how much do you attribute this to Lana Del Rey, and how much do you attribute that to Jack Antonoff?
So one of the things I wrote at the very bottom here was credit due just as much to Jack Antonoff.
Yeah, it's at least 50-50.
Because he played every instrument except for she played horns on the 9th song. Whatever it means. She just Lana Del Rey horns. I don't know which horns she played. But she sung, and Jack played every other instrument well, with the exception of a couple little like guest musicians, but
Yeah.
by far he played acoustic guitar, he played bass, he played the electric guitar, he played the keyboards, he played the drums, like he produced it. Jack Antonoff is a fucking treasure, like no doubt about it. Hugely involved with Taylor Swift. He was involved with the Lord record that we did, Melodrama. He was the producer for that. That guy's amazing, man. Like he's really
Good.
He's a wizard.
He's young too. He's like not much older than us. And he's
Where he's prominent in is that movie about the Sparks Brothers.
He's in that?
Yes.
Sweet.
Really.
Prominently in that.
Sweet. As like a commentator? Or
yeah,
what?
just a lot of interviews with him.
Nice.
Yeah, which is fascinating. It's a great documentary. Definitely need to check that out. We probably should have talked about that at the top of the show.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Is it already out? I thought it was like
can rent
upcoming.
You can rent it, but it costs you like $20.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's worth it.
I didn't know it was even available.
It's worth the $20. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Go onto your Apple TV, you can rent it.
Okay. I will.
Yep. It's a good one. Fucking totally fascinating, dude.
Yeah, because that was like one of the biggest surprises for me and Mike early on in this podcast.
For sure.
And I actually remember like the week before, you and me were reading through, like, at the end of every single episode, we go through and we're like reading the next week's listening. And I remember you made a comment. You were like, Sparks, we don't know what that is. And you asked me, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what that is either. You're like, maybe it's our new favorite. And then we just kind of glossed over it. And we're just like, now we're still talking about it, That's one of the good things about this podcast.
It's a wonderful thing about this list, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And it also makes me feel like a nerdish insider too, because listening to all the musicians, supposedly like amongst famous musicians, if you sit around and talk long enough, everybody knows about Sparks.
And we didn't now, and now we do.
And that,
but nobody knows about
now.
Sparks.
No, exactly. But we're insiders.
If you're listening to this,
you're in.
And you want to be an insider,
you're in.
Pull up Sparks.
Just talk Kimono My House.
Pull up Kimono My House and listen to it like 6 times.
Have you found that vinyl yet?
No. You?
God damn it. No. Well, I did. I found a Riri in
Waterloo. Austin. Yeah.
But I didn't pick it up. I will next time. I'll pick it up too, maybe.
Yeah. Buy 2 of them. If they have to, buy 2.
I know, because watching that documentary made me want to listen to that album so fucking bad.
That album's amazing. I've listened to it. That's probably one of the ones I've revisited the most.
Oh, jeez. It's so good. Okay.
Back to Lana Del Rey.
We got to talk about Lana Del Rey.
Which I'm happy to do. So yeah, Norman fucking Rockwell, the first track, not the name of the album. Mariner's Apartment Complex and Venice Bitch. 5 stars. All of them for me. Fucking I Love You, 3 stars. Doing Time, 3 stars. Love Song, 2 stars. Cinnamon Girl, 2 stars. How to Disappear. I didn't put any stars on that one.
Yeah.
California. California, 3 stars. Next Best American Record, 3 stars. The Greatest, 2 stars. I don't usually do this, but the reason I'm doing this is to show you how many fucking stars I wrote here. The Bartender, 4 stars.
What? Get the fuck.
Loved it. Loved it.
I didn't like Bartender.
Oh man, I loved it.
What did you like about it?
Chorus, the bought me a truck in the middle of the night. Love that line. Great piano. Good chorus. Haunting track. Happiness is a Butterfly, 2 stars. Hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have, but I have it. First of all, it's the longest song title of all time.
Yeah, it is.
4 stars.
Man.
4 stars.
After the Next Best American Record, I got really chintzy. I did give The Greatest 1 star, but I didn't star anything after that. No, yeah. I did star Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a woman like me to have, but I have it.
Just 1?
Yeah. I loved the lyrics on it.
Yeah. No, that was like, usually I'm not that much of a lyrics guy, but I totally was on this album.
The only song that wasn't for me like a lyrics driven song was Venice Bitch. And that fucking dude, that crazy jam that happens in the middle of that song is so it's funny because if you look this record up on Wikipedia, it like at one point it has a moniker of psychedelia or psychedelia rock, and that's utter horseshit with the lone exception of Venice Bitch. Venice Bitch goes into wacky places.
I don't know if I agree 100%. Like Venice Bitch definitely is the most, but there that look vibe that they put out at the end of Venice Bitch, that comes up a couple other times, in my opinion. Like at the end of Mariner's apartment complex, there's like a whole electric guitar outro, and maybe you could see that as a lead into that one. So
That's what I did.
You could do that. I want to say there was another spot. How to Disappear was pretty psychedelic.
See, now you're getting to where I struggled, and that is that the back half of this record is really driven by piano ballads.
There's a lot of piano ballads,
which I don't dislike them. Her voice is really, really well suited for them, but I get a little bit of fatigue when I feel like I'm getting similar music over and over and over again.
Yeah,
I agree. I got really fatigued, even though I usually love piano.
Maybe I have a weakness for Lana Del Rey because I totally agree that it got a little repetitive, but it didn't bother me. In fact, I was like eating it right up. I listened to this one the most of any record this week. Well, it's not like I sat there and listened to Jerry Lee Lewis Anthology 4 or 5 times through.
All 2.5 hours.
I actually did listen to it 2 times through all the way. Did you?
Jesus, man.
Did
Why'd
you
do that
guys?
to
Fuck no,
yourself?
not
I
Jerry
You guys
Lee
didn't?
Lewis.
Because I got to do a cold listen and I got to do a notes listen.
I only did a notes.
I don't
listen.
make exceptions.
I only did a notes listen.
That's good. I should have done that too.
I did roll Deuce through the Clash though.
I did too.
And the
yeah.
Clash ended up being my most listened to record because I actually went back to that one 2 or 3 times. Not for the whole thing, but for chunks of it. Because again, if I were the producer on that motherfucker, there would have been a lot of stuff left on the production floor.
I would have cut the children's choir.
Yeah.
Wait, which one? Not the little girl singing the Guns of Brixton.
No, there was a
I
children's
would've cut that one
choir.
too. The career opportunities.
Oh,
Children's
yeah.
choir.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Like why?
But I listened to NFR here probably 4 or 5 times. And honestly, I'll continue. This is one I'll keep. I loved this one.
Okay, so you added it to digital
I did.
and you're going to buy the vinyl.
Sure. If I find it, yeah, I'll buy it.
It's out there. It exists.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with it on this list? Are you going to move it up
No.
because you're ballsy?
Nope.
You're going to move it down
I am
because you
ballsy,
secretly hate it.
but I'm going to leave it where it is.
Wow. That's wild. I
Well-
think you've agreed with placement more this week than what you have with this
Than
list in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this
Which
list
I don't
doesn't
hate.
suck that bad this week,
No, that's all right.
except for Jerry Lee Lewis.
Listen, as much as I may have played counterfoil to any of you, this is definitely the most listenable Lana Del Rey album that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Which makes it probably the 3rd Lana Del Rey album I've ever heard.
You heard the one with Summertime Sadness. You would know that song. Even if
Maybe.
you don't know by name, you would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Either way, I'm gonna call this like a 4.25 job for me. I think it's about 100 too high. And it's only because she just doesn't have a lot of range for me. When she's good, she's really, really good. But then she's her, which is fine.
I think my argument is I think she's really, really good. But I'm not putting this here on this list just because I think Lana Del Rey needs represented. Like, I think this is an amazing collection of songs. I think the songs are really well written. It's really well paced. Yes, there is a little bit of a slump with a lot of piano ballads, but she picks it back up at the end. And yeah, I think it's a great album. So I'm putting it. I'm gonna keep it where it is personally.
I'm good. I'm good with that. What are you gonna do?
I'm kind of split. I think it should drop a little ways.
Yeah.
But not as much as Mike. But you don't want it to leave where I want to leave it.
I mean, it has like no influence.
0. This is 2019.
Yeah.
This is one of the newest
That's
records we've had.
crazy. 2019.
So Fine Line.
Ooh.
Anything else?
Wow.
Was Melodrama 2019?
Billie Eilish,
Yeah,
398.
Where was
2019.
Melodrama?
460.
Yeah.
How do you know that? That was crazy that you just knew that.
Pretty good with numbers.
You should be. Yeah, I feel like I'm good with numbers too, but I didn't memorize the placement. Anyways, so Melodrama though, was that 2019? Or is that 2018?
I thought it was 2018. maybe even 2017.
We're gonna go with what you say. So Lana Del
I'm not as
Rey.
good with the years. Some things are
So
just
Lana
funny.
Del Rey, Fine Line, and Billie Eilish are the 3 newest albums we've had thus far. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would put a little closer to Billie Eilish, I think.
You want Billie Eilish to be the highest.
No, I would put Lana Del
Oh, you would
Rey
put it closer to
a little
Gotcha.
higher than Billie Eilish, but a little closer to it.
Yeah, see, because I think I wanted to move Billie Eilish back to like below 450. And it wasn't because it was a
like
bad
$4.99.
Yeah, I think I wanted her like closer to Harry Styles because
Harry Styles was what, $4.97?
$4.90, I think.
Probably right.
I think
Might not be right.
if you're gonna call an album from the last like 5 years one of the 500 greatest albums of all time,
It's got to be
That's a
fucking
fucking
amazing.
Yeah, and that's my beef with all of this. That's
I
my
think this
beef
album's
here,
amazing,
too.
though. I think it's amazing.
It's definitely amazing, but like it hasn't really stood the test.
It
of time
comes
yet.
it comes closer than either of the other two that we've heard.
But then you run into the argument like, does it have to? Like, do you have to stand the test of time before it can get on here? Because then you're not going
Yes.
to put anything that's not older than 5-10 years on the list.
You're just not going to put anything. You're just not going to put anything that's recent super, super high. That's all that means.
Yeah.
Right.
If this was like 450, like
Nobody would argue with that. Everybody would be like, well, yeah, of course. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's the 450th greatest album of all time.
Well, listen to it, guys, and
That's still
you
a
know,
crazy
let us know
number.
what you think. Like,
Yeah.
send us an email at thislistsucks@gmail.com. Send us a voice message at anchor.fm/thislistsucks. Let us know what you're thinking about this album and any other from this week. We'd love to hear your opinion. And if you send us a voice message on Anchor, we can play it on the episode here.
As
So
long
we
as you're-
love that.
As long as you're not racist.
Don't say any racist shit. We don't stand
No
for
racist
that.
shit.
Riley doesn't stand for that. So
Okay, so programming note. I don't know. Pay attention to stuff.
yeah, we're gonna
About-
we'll post.
Yeah, we're gonna have to postpone some stuff because I've had a death in the family that I got to do some traveling for, and so we're gonna definitely postpone this next week. But we should be back the week after that, and then, dude, then we have like serious logistical issues to talk about.
Okay. Well,
'Cause
we'll
we
talk
have
about
fish
that.
tour.
We do. We'll figure it out. We'll get it taken care of.
We have multiple fish
Well,
tours.
we can work around fish tour. Death in the family, that takes the forefront. So we're gonna
Thank you.
deal with that is more important than anything. We're gonna take care of that, and then afterwards we'll come back. But fish tour, we can work around fish tour. We will still do episodes, in my opinion. I don't know. Are you on the same page?
Oh yeah,
Okay. We're gonna work around fish tour a little
dude,
bit.
from location possibly,
It's not going to be normal time, normal day necessarily.
and it's not going to be uploaded instantly.
But you'll get the
either.
episodes. Yes, you'll get the episodes. So
Yeah.
stick with us a little bit. We appreciate you listening.
Uh-huh.
Thanks a lot, everybody. We do need to preview next week, and we do need to
Well-
read Rex's thoughts on Lana Del Rey
Okay, let me hit Lana Del Rey, and then you get ready for
for
the
next,
next
week.
show. Yeah. Okay, so Rex says about Lana Del Rey. Who's this now? She seems to be popular. How? She has such a potty mouth on her. Damn, this bitch talks like me. This album has an odd melancholy to it, or her voice does. It's her voice, Rex. 3 of these albums have fucked me up this week. 2 of them, I don't know how to describe of it. Or
Even if I like them.
even
think.
if I like them, yeah. This list is bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that he doesn't. Well,
I think he liked it.
I think
I think
liked
he's saying
too.
it fucked with his emotions.
Smokey, don't play with my money. It's like playing with my emotions. So sorry. I don't know why Friday popped into my head.
Okay, let's preview next episode. So
Okay.
320 is X Los Angeles from 1980.
Mm-hmm. At number 319, we're going to talk about the Stone Roses release from 1989, their self-titled release, The Stone Roses.
318 is Janet Jackson, the second entry, The Velvet Rope.
That'll be fascinating. 317, Billie Holiday. What's up, Lady in Satin?
316 is The Who. Very close to the last Who record. The Who Sell Out is the name of the album. And we will see you for the next episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Riley, for joining us.
Uh-huh.
Glad Glad to be on.
This was your second appearance, and you know you'll be back. So we'll see you then.
2-time world champion.
Yes, world champion. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Heavy breathing.
Yeah, I don't know why I decided to do that.